Hello, and welcome to the Designing Impactful Innovation podcast. I'm Clara, your host, and today I'm joined by two returning guests who will share their insights into CATIA and how it is used for industrial design. Let's listen to Felix Rockel, CATIA Design Industry Process Expert Senior Specialist, and Alain Dugousset, CATIA Core Engineering Roles Portfolio Senior Manager. Hello, Alain and Felix. Welcome back to the podcast. For our listeners who might not have heard our first episode, could you please introduce yourselves?
Hello, so my name is Alain Dugousset. I am working on CATIA for more than 25 years now in Dassault Systèmes and most of the time on aviation topic. And I am also very interested in innovation.
Yes, my name is Felix Rockel. I don't work with CATIA for such a long time as Alan. I think now just close to 10 years of experience with CATIA. And yeah, that's also the time that I'm with Dassault Systems in the CATIA Design IPS team. I'm 35 years and I live in Hamburg, Germany.
All right, thank you. So, we talked about industrial design in our previous episode and the projects you worked on, such as Tintin's spaceship or innovative e cars to showcase CATIA's capabilities. You've been using CATIA for a while, and you've certainly used different CAD tools in the past. What made you choose CATIA?
So I love the history that you have in CATIA, the history on each model that you create. The phrase that we use, the terminology is associative. CATIA is very strong in its associativity. That means that if you create a model, you can change all the parameters that you assign to generate this model at any stage, and your whole scene tree or your whole workflow that you did after this parameter will update according to your changes. And I think this fact or the strength of CATIA makes it very, very useful and very strong in concept modeling, because you can try out so many different variants. When you first assign a parameter or create a model, you don't have to really take care that everything is perfect yet. You can then at any time tweak and really produce like this the shapes that you like. And then as well, I always use a hybrid modeling approach of subdivision surface modeling and parametric CATIA NURBS modeling. And I find that this is quite unique, this mix of using those both technologies so linked together. Yeah, that's quite unique in CATIA, and this makes my modeling process really fast, but at the same time very intuitive. That's why I use CATIA for concept modeling.
Yes, I agree with Felix. There are a lot of good reasons to prefer CATIA, in fact. The associative and parametric approach you describe is a good one, Felix, clearly. But you have, I think, other very interesting thing in CATIA. The first one, I think, is that we have with CATIA the best geometrical modeler available on the market. To be honest, when you start to design something with CATIA, you know you will be able to create the exact shapes, the exact surface, the exact geometry you want to create with high level precision, I will say. It's one key topic. And to do this, we have a lot of amazing way of working, amazing features, depending on the way you want to work. If you want to work with a very strict structure, you can do this. If you want to have other way, not so strict to work, you can use them. At the end, you will create the same geometry, but using different methodology. That's one point for, I would say, all the modeling, the part design, surface design. On another topic, when you switch to more product design, I would call it assembly design on my side, you have a very interesting capability for designing in context. If you need to design a part with other part as a context, is very easy with CATIA. And if you need to create links between parts, the relational design between parts is very powerful in CATIA. So as Felix explained, you can start designing something and say, okay, I need to change a spline, a surface, a parameter, and then everything will update according to new specification. And for me, it's clearly a great differentiator for CATIA compared to other CAD tools, in fact.
Felix and Anna, you both have a lot of experience working on CATIA. How do you use CATIA in your design process?
On my side, most of the time I start using applications such as Natural Sketch to be able to import picture if I need, or sketches drawn with pencil, I will say. Then I switched to modeling application, mainly generative part design and part design, in order to be able to create both surfaces and solid depending on the need. And everything is on my side is done in context of assembly, because most of the time when I create a product, it's not only one part. So I am working on one part with everything around it on the screen to be able to design what I want, and then modify another part, come back to the one I am working on, and see the impact and so on. So for me, it's clearly very powerful to have this kind of capability. Most of the time, to go a little bit more technical, I use what we are calling the skeleton methodology, to have one part with the main specification, main point, axis, surfaces of my design, and then going to detailed design of solid parts using this first part. And when I can, most of the time I try to do this, I switch to 3D Excite to use Planet Studio and Creative Experience. So Planet Studio is our home, directly available for the designer. And Creative Experience allow me to put, in fact, my design in real life environment, in fact. As you may have seen on some of my design, I love to put what I am designing on the sea, in the air, with the sun moving, the cloud and so on, to see what will be the final result of the design in lifelike environment.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say my design workflow with CATIA is pretty close and similar to what Alan has described. He uses some applications that I use that I don't use, but I think that's also the beauty with CATIA, that you can, pick and develop your own customized workflow that fits your style of modeling and working best. So I also use reference pictures that I bring in with Natural Sketch, or now we have a new application for that, the creative design experience. And then, I don't know, Ellen, do you use Imagine and Shape, subdivision surface modeling at all?
Yes, sometimes, but I am not an expert on this one.
Okay.
On my, yes.
Yeah.
I need maybe your help to learn more also.
Yeah, why not? No problem. I think I'm pretty sure you can also teach me a lot of stuff, so we can exchange. Yeah, this would be good. But yeah, so I use this mostly for my main surfaces, subdivision surface modeling with Imagine and Shape, and then I do the detailing, yeah, with parameters mainly from or in generative shape design. Yeah, and then I also do a lot of visualization. So of course for renderings and stuff, I assign materials. I use live rendering for that. Sometimes then I use our capabilities in VR, virtual reality, so we can connect VR glasses directly to the 3D experience platform to review our models in virtual reality. So I have a VR glasses that I can use with my laptop. I have a quite powerful laptop that is capable of doing that. And I love that the possibility to review in virtual reality my model that I started to design in the morning, and then in the evening already I can walk around my, I don't know, car or house or whatever I designed, and then take decisions, and instantly I'm back in CATIA and can reshape. And thanks to the history that we have in CATIA that we talked about earlier, I can instantly change certain parameters and my model will update accordingly. And then, yeah, we have an application as well for creating design presentations, product perception experience, to, yeah, explain a bit how the product will work, how the user will interact with the product. So yeah, I create usually a design presentation with this in the end, with this application, in order to basically share my product with others and communicate its features.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your workflows with us. Can you tell us about your first projects on CATIA, both of you?
Yeah, so if I start, my first project, I think, with CATIA was designing a bridge. I collaborated with an architect office in Finland, I think they were. I don't really recall the name because it's like 10 years ago, but that was my first project with CATIA, designing bridge.
Yes, on my side, it's a little bit different. My first project, if I really think about my first one, was in CATIA V5 to design the mechanical bracket. It's maybe not so funny, but that was even before CATIA V5 was on the market. We'll say if I look at, let's say, more funny project. My first one was to redesign on V5 Star Wars X-Wing fighter, just for fun, and to test CATIA V5 at this time. And on 3D experience platform with CATIA, I do not remember if it was the Infinity Gauntlet used by Thanos or the arc reactor of Iron Man. I think it's the last one. I think it was the arc reactor of Iron Man. I just redesigned for fun using all the application we described just before.
Which was the first version on the platform of CATIA that you used?
Here again, same thing, the one which was not on the market.
Ah, yeah.
But for the arc reactor, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago,
Ah, okay.
maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
From
Depending on the job you have in Dassault system and the time you may have, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Before this, I was more designing for aerospace and defense. So it was more for customer demonstration or this kind of thing.
Mm. Yeah, for me, when I started with CATIA, it was already on the 3D experience platform that was R2015X back then on the platform. And I first learned CATIA actually on the platform and then went back to also use it in V5 afterwards. Of course, in the beginning I always preferred to be on the platform because that's where I learned CATIA. But then for some customer engagements, I had to learn it in V5 as well. So I did the wrong I learned it the wrong way from the platform back to V5.
So lots of different projects and ways of working. So you went I know you went forward and Felix went a bit backward
Yeah.
Yes.
in a way. Now here's a question for Alain. So you've worked with CATIA for over 25 years. What were the challenges you faced in the beginning and how have they evolved?
25 years ago, main challenges were to be able to design mechanical parts. That's why my first project was more a mechanical bracket than something funny. So it seems to be obvious today, but at those time, creating the exact geometry of a mechanical part was not so simple, so easy to do. Then, if you manage to create your parts, the next challenge was at this time to be able to put them together to create the product, to create what we were calling at this time the digital mockup of your product. It's another interesting challenge we face with today. Again, it seems to be obvious, but it was not simple at this time. And if you manage to do this kind of thing, you were very happy to be able to launch a process to try to have a nice picture of, of your product, but it was only static pictures that you can have to have all the details, the rendering of your car or your plane, depending on what you were working. And it was a little bit long to have this kind of picture to have the result. You may wait between a few minutes for several hours, depending on the complexity of the product. If we look at what we have today, it's completely different. We are able to create now the complete twin of a plane or a car. And when I say the virtual twin of this kind of product, it's not only the mechanical parts of the digital mockup, it's also all the physical behavior of the product, even if it does not exist. Sorry, we are able to describe all the physical behavior with exact mathematical equations. So it's really amazing compared to 25 years ago. And then if you have all those parts together with all the behavior of your product, you are able to put it in a real-time environment to replay all those behaviors and to check that everything will be okay for your product, and of course to check that for the final customer the product will be the good one for him, even if you do not have start the production of it. That's what is really amazing. You're able to test everything in lifelike environment, real-time environment, before, I would say, pushing the manufacturing button.
I find that really interesting, Alain. I'm a bit jealous, I have to say. It's really cool that you were able to, see or be part of this whole process from the first steps of the cut development of products until today. That must have been nice, right? To really see every year the evolvement of the software and being part of this process. I just came in at a certain stage where it was already quite developed.
Yes, when I joined the Dassault system, we were less than 1,000 people
Mm,
in the Dassault system. So you can imagine today, compared to the number of people we have in our in the Dassault system.
mm.
I know I was lucky on this topic. Yes,
Yeah.
Clary.
I'm curious, maybe in 15 years from now, I will talk in a similar fashion and will explain about the time before AI did all this automatically. And some young colleague will not believe. But yeah,
Yes.
let's see how it develops. Yeah.
You've witnessed the shift from CATIA V5 on premise to CATIA on the 3D Experience platform on the cloud for Alain, and Felix, you've gone the other way around,
Mm.
meaning you've gone from the cloud to on premise. How do you think this shift from on premise to the cloud has changed the design process?
Yes, so as you said, right, so I was not really working with CATIA when it was still in V5, but now working with the 3D experience platform and yeah, supporting customers that work with the 3D experience platform on cloud, I see strong benefits using the platform for a design process. And for me, the most obvious one and most important one is the collaboration that you have with CATIA on the 3D experience platform, where each profile that you have in a design studio, they all come together on the same platform and they can work and collaborate, working basically in parallel on the same part because all the data is saved on a server on the cloud. They can collaborate and work together on the same part at the same time. Where with CATIA V5 back then, where everybody had his or her local installation on their own laptops, yeah, the collaboration was much more difficult and data had to be exchanged and stuff. So all this is made much more streamlined with the 3D experience platform, the collaboration.
Yes, you're right. Just if I can add something for me, using the platform on the cloud today, it's mean freedom because you are able to work, to retrieve your data, to work from everywhere on several machines if you need. It's really amazing to have this kind of capability, and it's as Felix explained, yes, you do not have to take care of your files. Everything is on the cloud, so you can access from everywhere. It's for me it's a good starting point for the cloud. It's really a key added value on this capability. And moreover, as I am dreaming with the cloud to have new services which may need, some processing on the cloud. You cannot do this on your PC, but to have the capability to have new services to check the sustainability of your design. Yeah, maybe not in real time, but almost in real time. You are working. You say, okay, with all the information I have put in my design, please, Dassault system, tell me if it's sustainable or not. And you're still working on your design, and then you have the answer saying yes or no, and you know what to change in your design depending on the feedback you will have. I will say from this kind of capability coming from the cloud. And for me, it's really it's a dream, but I think it's not so far from what we can do, and it's maybe really interesting to have this kind of capability and other coming from the cloud and with the cloud.
Mm. Yeah, this would be super cool. Super nice
Yes.
feature to have. Also, if I may add something, so where I was talking about about collaboration on the cloud. So I think our team that we have at Dassault System is a very good example of that because, for example, I'm sitting in Hamburg, then we have a colleague sitting in Stuttgart in Germany, then we have three colleagues actually in Paris, one colleague in Manchester, and there are so many projects that we do together. So a concept car, or recently we did a plane cabin together. And through the cloud, we can all work on this exact same data without any data passing around. My colleague maybe doesn't know anymore which is the latest version that he should actually work on. No, we actually work on the same data together in real time. And this works so well even though we are located all around Europe. So that's really cool and a big benefit of working with a 3D experience platform on the cloud.
What impact do you think the 3D Experience platform on the cloud will have on design in the future?
I would say for me the key point is clearly, as Felix explained, for let's say for short term, to collaborate more together and increase the collaboration between the designer to work more closely with other people. No, not only designer with designer, but designer with mechanical engineer, with the simulation specialist to check the structure capability of the design, manufacturing expert, and so on, and sustainability expert too, of course, to be sure that the dream design can become reality. And of course, checking all the information needed for the cost of the impact on the planet during all the lifetime of the product. For me, it's clearly the good thing we are working on, and it's clearly very important for the future for industrial design. Then maybe we can have some AI coming to enhance all those things and allow all the user to optimize their design more quickly and taking care of the earth.
Yeah, I can totally agree with Alan. I think those topics that he mentioned with sustainability is definitely the main challenge for the future design. Future design has to be sustainable, and it will influence the way that we design our products heavily. And also, of course, the new technologies that we will have with artificial intelligence will have a huge influence on the design process itself. But I think that with our 3D experience platform and with CATIA on the 3D experience platform, we are really on the right spot because we enable with our platform collaboration within the design studio between the different profiles that you have in the design studio, but also with the other departments of a company, so between the designer and the engineer and the experts for sustainability and the manufacturing department, and we can bring with our platform all those different profiles together. And you need this collaboration between those different stakeholders in order to produce sustainable products and make best use of all the new technologies that we have.
All right. So thank you so much for coming back to the podcast, Alain and Felix. This was a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun
Thanks a
as
lot.
last time.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for listening to Designing Impactful Innovation. To find out more, go to 3ds.com/cloud. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and stories from our guest experts.